Welcome to Mrs. Peach Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today. And you notice I have the same outfit on. I did change my picture where when I'm editing and doing some getting ready, I can know that this is a different video. You know, you got to do things like that. And I do have the same shirt on. And I noticed a few people were wearing their plaid at church Sunday, and I thought, oh, I got to get my plaid out. So I have a couple of plaid shirts at least. Today is Thursday BookTube. This is hosted by our wonderful friend Patty at Life with Patty and Daphne over at My Mountain Home and Kitchen. They both have awesome channels. You can go watch them and learn something, enjoy their personality. You always come away happy. They do encourage me to read, and Patty gave me this book when we had our YouTube meetup with several of the girls, and they were so awesome. We had such a great time, and she gave me this book. She thought I would like it. I have never, and I know this is a very popular writer. I've never read anything of hers before, and this book kind of sucked me in. And you see, I am almost finished, but you know, when I first start reading a book, I read a few pages and then I set it aside, and then I read more. Pretty soon it was getting so interesting that I thought, oh my goodness, I can't put it down. So let me just tell you about this right here, what it says. Oh, in case you didn't hear this or see, it's Debbie Macomber, I may say that wrong, 4 Brides. And on the back it says, 3 brides and no grooms. Okay, why'd they say 4 brides? Okay, maybe there's one that, okay, we'll see. When 3 friends meet again at their 15-year class reunion, they revealed that their lives had taken different, unexpected directions. Back in their college day, Gretchen had been engaged to a top law student. Carol, head cheerleader, had said yes to the school football hero, and Maddie was the girl who had fallen for her professor. Now the 3 of them gather where promises were made and broken. As the women reconnect, they share stories, disappointments, rediscovery, and finally, true love. Okay, in every one of these, okay, well, let's see, bonus, Alaskan. Oh, okay, to finish this book, I only have this many pages left. And then there's the bonus of the other book. That's get you started and want to read another book. Each one of these girls, they just had me hooked whenever they started telling their story. Their lives were so, and first off, I'll tell you, you know, I don't want to read books that are, I feel icky and not so after I read them. This one was held true to that. There was some kissing, but, you know, anyway. But this last girl right now, let's see if I can even start to tell you a little bit. The first story was about Gretchen. She was engaged and just about to be married in about 3 days. Her parents had planned this beautiful wedding, and come to find out, her guy she was going to marry was not what she thought he was. And come find out, he'd been having an affair with another girl for a long time, and she found it out. And she was so upset. Josh, the kind of the rebel that's still at that college, he come riding by on his motorcycle, and she gets on it, and she rides away with him. And he says he will take her home, which was from like Washington to San Francisco. And they didn't have much money, and she just wanted to get home, get out of there. And it tells the ups and downs of her riding she'd never ridden on the back of a motorcycle. And they didn't have money for motels, so they still blanket down, and nothing was going on. And he ended up getting mistaken by somebody else, got arrested, and she got help for him and got him out. And she in the meantime had fallen for him. He had been a perfect gentleman. And so it kind of left us standing. Did she ever get with him or not? Second girl, Carol, was engaged to Eddie, and he was the star football player, and he had drafted to one of the famous ball teams, and they was going to get married, and then he was going on, but he backed out, and his manager had kind of influenced him into it. And it was just right up toward ready for the wedding, and he backed out. She was so distraught. She ended up getting a job. She ended up staying where she was and getting a substitute teaching job. Come to find out, one of the students in her college was the computer geek. Well, they developed a kind of they come across each other again, and he ended up owning a huge company, and he helped her get a job in there, and she ended up being invaluable to him. And as far as his help, and she ended up falling for him. But it didn't end up that way. So they left me hanging on every one of these. So I don't know if they get together at the very end of the book or not. I'm leaving you hanging too. Okay, next one. Maddie is the last one. And she had fell for one of her professors. And she had just thrown herself at him, and, ended up that she got with him, and they were always discreet because the professor didn't want to get fired from his job. And at the end of it, they was going to get married. School was getting out, and she told one of her friends just 2 or 3 days before, and her friend was not trustworthy, and it got all over the campus, and he turned on her and was so mad and broke off the engagement. Well, backtrack a little bit. She was really good in math, and he was a math professor. And there was this problem that had not been solved by anybody, and people had been trying to do this math problem. She had ran in late one day to her class, and she had, this problem was on her test. And she figured everybody else had it, so she worked with that, and she got the answer. And then her professor, her lover, her friend, told her that he had lost the paper, but she had passed. After he had been so mad and broke the engagement, and she was so devastated, she ended up getting a job, and she was home one day, and come to find out, somebody was talking about this professor that had solved this math problem that nobody had solved before. And she realized, I am the one that solved that problem. In the meantime, there was this preacher's son. She never had anything to do with him, but she knew him in the college. And they never were really friends, but later, after all this happened, she come across him, and she told him she was going to break in his house and find this test and prove that it was her that did it. Okay, that's where I left. She ended up going into his house, and she knew where the key was. She knew he played poker or whatever on that particular day. And so she was going to rifle through his things. She felt sure she could find it. He came home in the middle with a girl. Well, her friend, the preacher's son, had ended up coming in the house also. And here the professor and his new girl went in the bedroom, and here they were hiding in the bathtub. They got out of the house, and that's where I'm at. Okay, I'm leaving you hanging just like me. I have to go uptown now, so I won't have time to read the rest of this. You might want to read the book. Ask me later, I might tell you if I think of it. Okay, that was a fun book review. Thank you, Patty, for giving me this book. You guys go check and see. You never know what you're going to hear on this and what you're going to see. I pray you'll always remember Jesus loves you. That's the most important thing I can tell you today. And I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Don't forget, if you haven't done it so far, like, subscribe, comment, and share. And don't forget, Jesus loves you.